listening to Home Sweet Home on Jaffrey Radio. You're listening to Home Sweet Home on Jaffrey Radio. You're listening to Home Sweet Home on Jaffrey Radio.
Your online radio. The new online radio that makes you happy.
You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home.
This is Jaffrey Radio.
Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land.
Hello, our wonderful cherished viewers and listeners. Welcome. We welcome you to the Home Sweet Home program, your favorites. Yes, as the tradition demands, we need to acknowledge our sponsors and then we continue. This program is sponsored by Bayside Modeling Agency. If you are a foreigner in Japan here and you have any talent in you that you want to make money out of it, please contact Bayside Modeling Agency on this telephone number 03 5413 3252. Bayside Modeling Agency, or send a message to info@bay-side.biz. Just write that you want to register with Bayside and the staff will quickly attend to you. Same as Zion Company Limited is also deal with narrations and translations. So if you are here in Japan and you can do translation to any language, please just register with Zion Company Limited. And with Zion, you can still send your information to Bayside, info@bay-side.biz. And we have Jackins Company Limited. Jackins is a recruiting agency that they recruit people who want a job. So job recruitment. Yes. So if you are in Japan here and you need a job, this is a good news for you. You can contact them on the following numbers: 0731 688 227, 07031 688 227, or 090 887 87744. Yes, Jackins Company Limited is situated in Saitama Chiba, Gunma, and Ibaraki Prefecture. So anywhere you live around these areas, you can contact them and they will find you a job that will suit you. If you are IT in engineering, truck driver, construction worker or construction work, forklift man, logistics, factory work, if you need any of this, they will help you. And also their salary is very, very good. They paid 1,150 yen per hour, from 1,150 to 1,500 yen per hour. So in a month, the total will be 230,000 yen to 320,000 yen. So they work from Monday to Saturday. Working hours are from 8. It's for 8 hours, and then overtime is also there. So please don't sit at your home and say I cannot have job or I don't have job. Contact them and they will give you job to do. Don't forget to download Jafric app. Yes, go to Google Store and also Apple Store, and then type Jafric Radio. You can download from there, and as soon as we come on live, you can join us. But the thing is, if we are on, you cannot see the visuals. It's radio, so you can hear everything that we will say or we talk about. Thank you so very much. Today I have my able panelist with me. My name is Abena Poma Puku Fuku. You can call me Dickness Poma, a lady with a long name. Yes. I have with me my brother, Mr. Fred Jechi Mensah. Mr. Fred, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. And also Mama Naomi Asari Zoto will also join us on VMix. So Mama Naomi is also there. All right, Mama, you are welcome.
Hello.
Yes,
Thank
Mom.
you.
Okay. All right. Today, the topic for discussion is it's difficult to, and it's dangerous. Let me say this. Yes, domestic violence. Domestic violence. And we are talking of physical abuse.
This is Jafric Radio.
So if you have joined us, please send your message, send your contribution, what you think about the topic, and if you have experience, just share with us. If you have seen someone going through that, you can also send something to us and we will read to the general public. Yes, all right.
This is Jafric Radio.
The topic for discussion is domestic violence. Yes, and we will base on physical abuse. But before I continue, I have a little statistics from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence in America. They call it NCADV. Now, he said the report says under homicide, it said 1 in 3 female murdered victims and 1 in 20 male murdered victims are killed by their intimate partners. So 1 in 3, 1 in 20, 1 in 3 female murdered victims and 1 in 20 male murdered victims are from their intimate partners. They are killed by the intimate or their intimate partners. And so a study of intimate partners homicide found 20% of victims were family members or friends of the abused partners, neighbors, persons, yes, and so on and so forth. So it's really, really serious. Murdered victims, 1 out of 3 females are being killed by their partners, intimate partners. So we are talking about domestic violence and physical abuse and even murder victims in our marriages. It's happening. Recently, we have one famous gospel artist who has been murdered by her own husband. And it has been a news all over. BBC are talking about, other bigger platforms are talking about this issue. And Jafric Radio, we are also talking about this issue. It means that the whole world
This is Jafric Radio.
about what is going on, especially married couples. Partners abusing their partners, whether male or female, but it happens. I'm becoming so emotional on this because it's very, very serious that we need to talk about. So going straight to Mr. Fred, according to the statistics, 3 people murdered. Female, 1 out of 3 murdered or were killed by their spouse. Yes. Wow. This is serious. When I was researching and saw this, I was like, what? Right. So, Mr. Fred, what are you talking about this? Or what is your opinion about this one? And then we continue.
Well, my own opinion is just open. It's just being open about this. So, well, I don't know what that statistics focused on, but in any way, it's not a good result. But I think we need to look at the issues that can cause domestic harassment or violence in the family. I think that would be the first thing to look at if we're looking for solutions for that. Yes, because getting to the point of killing someone or taking somebody's life out of domestic violence, that means the issue that was there had been intense, and probably there were no attendants or there were no efforts to, or let me say efforts to look for solution ran out. So ultimately the other one who is more furious would have to, use his power or whatever, yes, to silence the other one. So we need to look at the causes of those domestic violence. Before the physical comes, of course, there was something there. And like we've been saying, communication is always the tool to use in a family to appease, to find solutions, to develop relationships, to develop love. And if that tool is lacked or is misplaced, or the process of using that tool is not well understood, it will lead to a lot of misunderstanding, which can cause domestic violence. So we probably have to look at the causes. Yeah, in my view, I can break it into 3. Emotional issues are there, then the mental issues, then the physical issues too would come in. So if you look at these 3 issues, each one is tense, but there's always a deadly one among them. And I think as long as we continue going, I can have enough time to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. Yes, it's Mama Naomi there. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Dickness. 1 in 3 female murdered victims are killed by their intimate partners, according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence in United States. 1 in 3 female murdered victims are from their intimate partners, and 1 in 20 males murdered victims are also murdered by their partners. So, what is your opinion about these statistics?
It's rather unfortunate that things are getting on the rise, especially when it comes to domestic violence. It's rather unfortunate. But when I think about the whole thing, I feel we are in the end time. That people are now lovers of more than any other thing. They love themselves more. They are not ready to sacrifice. They are not ready to compromise. And as Uncle Jeffrey said, nothing happens just like that. Everything that happens for a reason. Those are the causes. So as we talk, I think we'll also look at the causes of such things and those that lies in our power to be able to control. We can do that so that in one way or the other, or in our small way, we can try as much as possible to reduce this number, because it's so alarming and it's not a good news. It's not a good news. Yeah.
1 in 3. It's serious. The man or woman that you love so much in the beginning, how can she turn to be your punching bag? Viewers, this is Jafric Radio Home Sweet Home program. Yes, we are talking about domestic violence and physical abuse. So those that are abusing their partners in marriage, we are talking about it, so that please, you have to get informed. If you are here or you are hearing us and you indulged in such activities, we need to put a stop to that. I think it is not something that is good. Yeah. All right. Mr. Fred made mention of the causes. So you talk about emotions. And how can emotions, cause this or generate into domestic violence?
Well, the emotion that would be an issue in the family itself, itself is a harassment. Yes, for example, you may get into a relationship with somebody, maybe just because the person is beautiful, he's handsome, he wears well, or whatever your reason, which might not be compatible, and you happen to keep up with this person. Naturally, you have no love for that person, but you are keeping with him, perhaps for economical reasons. Perhaps she's beautiful or he is handsome. That's what you're doing. Don't forget that there's going to be a time all those things will be gone out of your eyes. And when it happens that way, you put on a behavior that does not, you put on a kind of behavior that does not respond to your spouse very well. For example, he might say something or she might say something, but your responses will be hurtful. The way you walk in the house, your behavior, these are kind of the emotions that I'm talking about. Some things might not be, she might say something that necessarily would not mean to hurt you, but you might take that serious and prolong that into a sort of unnecessary arguments. So this kind of emotions, when it's in the family, people tend to live with it. They tend to live with it, but inwardly they get hurt. I hope you're understanding my point.
Yeah.
So these are kind of the emotions that I'm talking about. You may not love the person naturally. You may not be compatible, but because for economical reasons, or she's so presentable that you can go out with her. So you tend to put up with the person, and here comes the case, you probably have a child with one. So it becomes difficult to sort of separate. You cannot voice it out. So often express that in your attitude or your way of, responding to that spouse at home. These are all domestic violence. It's killing. Yes.
Right. So in this, when it happens this way, what will be the solution?
Well, the solution is first, if you notice that, you first have to talk to your spouse. This is very important. First, confront him and talk to him. Yes, communication.
That I saw your physiques and
You can say as recently
to you, but now
no, that's not. I'm not sure you're going to refer to those past things, but you're going to say the reactions or her emotions at home, things that are not necessary, he frowns upon, things are not helpful. She just talks about them and uses some language that you're probably not happy about it. I mean, you just have to confront the person, to let her know that you care about the kind of emotions that he's putting out at home. This is very important. So you need to do that first. Yeah, and if it doesn't work, before you probably would think about bringing a third person, which might be somebody that person shies before or has a great respect for. You see, this could be a way of finding a solution to that. But the first thing is, you have to talk to. Yes, develop a communication with your spouse and talk about it. Let the person know that you're not happy with what is going on. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. Mama Naomi, are you there? I think Mama's internet is a bit slow. So when you speak, we hear the voice, but we can see that there is no movement at where you are. Yeah, Mommy, in your opinion, what will be the cause or the causes to this domestic violence we are talking about, especially the physical abuse?
Yes, thank you very much. And Uncle Jackie, thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah. But in my opinion, I think when we made other things apart from God the Lord of our marriage, to my opinion, because all I know is God created marriage, and for us to have a successful and a peaceful marriage, we need to make God the Lord of the marriage. So in the absence of this, then we can see all those things that are happening, either the physical, the emotional, the psychological, or whatsoever. Because one thing I know, if the Lord is the owner of the marriage, what is about emotion that he cannot control? What is about the physical that he cannot control? What is about the psychological that he cannot control? So when we try to do things our own way and live out of the situation, then we see this kind of things happening. So in my opinion, when we don't make the creator of the marriage the Lord of it or the owner of it, we are bound to have or to face this kind of problems in our marriages. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mommy. I just want to ask a question about the recent incidents that has happened. Our own sister Osinachi, the Nigerian gospel artist, which the husband is the pastor. And according to some eyewitnesses, they were saying that the man even doesn't care. He can even abuse the woman, beating her in front of many people. They are, let's say, Christians. And the woman refused to, I won't say leave the marriage or what, but anybody that he talked to, the woman talked to, said, I am praying over it, he will change. God will change him. God will change him. God will change him. Now, he has killed her. So in situation like this, what would one do? Because it's happening. Others have no strength to come out to say what they are going through. And even others feel shy to come out and say all these things, but it's happening. And the sad thing is, being a believer that beats your wife to death. Mommy, what are you saying about this?
My opinion about this particular woman and her situation. First, maybe the husband being a pastor or what. You know, nowadays we have so much hypocrisy in the Christendom. Okay? So it can be that the professed Christian, they say they are Christians, but nothing of theirs shows that they are Christians. They have not allowed the spirit that the Lord has given us to renew them. Okay? So they say it's not like those days that the apostles, they didn't say they are Christians. The genesis of Christian, the word where it came from, it was how they behave that brought the name Christians. These people are like Christ. They didn't say it. But these days Christianity, we say, oh, you don't know me, I am a pastor. You don't know me, I'm a deaconess. You don't know me, I'm an elder, and those kind of things. But our character or what we say is different from what we do. And about the case of there's recent news that is on air, everybody is talking about. In my case, I could say that maybe it's God's own way, because the time around which the thing happened to, it was Easter season, right? And what is about Easter? Easter is about our the Son of God coming to save the world. Okay, we were all destined to death, but through his gracious sacrifice, you and I have gotten salvation. So this woman's death has brought so much eye-opening into our society. Many people are suffering in marriages through domestic violence, but this woman's death have given voice to them. Okay, so in my case, I could say that God's own way to liberate many who are suffering from that to come out, so that if there is a solution can be offered to such a problem, so that it will not continue, but in one way or the other, it should be minimized or even cut off from our marriages. So that is the little thing I want to say. As for the man, I don't think he's a Christian. I don't think so, because a Christian or somebody who is like Christ will not behave the way.
All right. So, mommy, in a situation like this, must one sit and hoping that the person will change, knowing that the person is not a Christian? Because as you have said, no true Christian will lay a hands on his wife. So must you sit down until you die before it becomes a news? Or if you, leave that marriage, is it a crime? I need more.
Yeah. Okay. Concerning the question you just asked, maybe sometimes because of the stigma that is connected to this kind of thing, or our mindset about the whole thing that is causing it. It is true that yes, the Bible speaks against divorce. Christ says, I hate divorce. But he didn't continue to say that I hate a divorcee. Okay?
Yeah.
So you see that even when you went to the Bible, the disciples also brought the same question to Jesus about this divorce matter. We didn't get a straightforward answer from him, either yes or
Oh no.
What he said was, it was because of the hardness of our hearts. That's why some time ago Moses said something concerning divorce. For you staying and you know what you are going through, the violence you are going through, I will not advise that you should stay inside. Okay? So maybe sometimes we have to also let our mind to be renewed by the word. God hates divorce. God hates divorce. But he didn't say I hate a divorcee. If maybe you went into a marriage, you have tried all you could to make the marriage work, but it is not working, you can give it a space. You can fight for the marriage from a distance, not necessarily staying there to fight for it. You can fight for the marriage from a distance, because God said we should also love ourselves. As you are loving another person, you should also love ourselves. You love yourself first before you can love the other person. If you don't love yourself, you can't love the other person. And if you are going through this that is going to cost your life, it means you don't love yourself. So you can fight for the marriage from a distance. God didn't say he hates you if you walk out of your marriage or something like that.
All right.
So in my opinion, I don't think you should stay there.
Stay
you
there.
need to love yourself and fight for yourself, because you are the temple of God.
Thank you, Mommy. Mr. Fred, I know you have heard all this recent news circulating in our social media and other stuff about this gospel artist, Osinachi, that the husband killed her. And according to the people around, those that have witnessed, they said the woman is so calm that she doesn't want to fight back. And all that she says is that I am hoping that God will change him. Even from her mother's testimony, the mother said at some point they brought her back to the father's house, and the man came and apologized. And the woman said, what the Lord has joined together, let no man put asunder. So she went back to the husband's house, and the treatment was even worse than then, until finally she died out of physical abuse. Mr. Fred, what is your opinion about this, the whole show?
Well, personally, I don't think I know that figure, but I have heard the stories. Well, first and foremost, there is a saying that who feels it knows it. She was the one living with the man who was abusing her, so she knew what started it, and she knew the pains that she was going through. And if you should ask me, I would say she was wrong not to have voiced out. Yes, keeping quiet wasn't helpful. I've heard the deaconess trying to use a religious solution for this kind of issues. But here's the case: we've got a lot of Christians, people who believe in God, getting divorced almost every day. And this issue that we're talking about, it happens not only in people who do not believe in God. It happens in almost every society. Being a Christian, Buddhist, whoever, it happens. Yes, and it's because we are coming from different backgrounds. We are people of different opinions. So, in this woman's case, at this moment, what we can conclude is that she made a mistake not to have communicated her feelings out. Yes. Don't forget, some men can do this out of jealousy. He did once, and the woman was taken to her father's home. He went back, apologized, and get his wife back. In this case, there was a whole amount of jealousy in the guy's behavior. Probably he thinks the wife is getting name famous, and to him, would be easy for any man to win. So he started growing some kind of jealousy about her. And in this case, when somebody is jealous about somebody, he always feel he should possess that person to him. So this could be one of the areas I think the man had within him. And believe me, jealousy is also an evil spirit. Don't forget that. Yeah. So my point is, the woman did not communicate, and that was wrong. And based on that, you cannot, give any solution to it. The man did wrong, to be honest. He wasn't right. He used excessive force on the woman, and that was wrong. For that one, I can conclude that. Yes, but my point is, why didn't the woman voice it out or communicated that to somebody? So in this case, you can't know what actually started the whole thing. Was it right that the guy was wrong from the beginning, or what caused the issue? You see, so like we're saying, communication is very important too. And for that singer to have been quiet for all these years and quoting the Bible that what God has joined, no man can
put asunder.
Well, it's so. But in the Bible, there can be a lot of quotations, and yes, that can justify divorce. I don't know where her understanding was, but for me, a lot of phrases within the gospel that can justify that you walk away from a marriage that's not helping you, or that is killing you. So yes, she was wrong not to have communicated. Yeah.
Wow. I think a person like this, like the type of the husband, if you try to communicate, I think maybe the beatings that you receive would even put so much fear in you not to even say anything. Because some of them are living in their marriages out of fear.
Can I say one thing?
The other partner so that because any word that will come out of your mouth that will provoke the man, you will not go scot-free. So others decided not to talk about it. They will just swallow it, pile up in their heart, or maybe forgiving them and continue. But yet the abuse keeping on, or it keeps on, happening. So it's good that we are here, we are talking about it, and it means that if you are in a relationship, you are in a marriage, that you feel so much abuse, please voice it out. Don't keep it to yourself. If you keep it, it means Mama Naomi says something, you don't love yourself, and you don't even love your children. Because once you died, think about who will take care of your children as you will do. Nobody. Everyone is thinking about his or hers children. So if you keep quiet and died as a result, you leave your children into a very bad state. Okay. So thank you so very much, viewers. Today's topic is very hot, and it's happening, not even in Africa alone. According to the statistics, it's from America. Yes, and 1 in 3 murdered victims are killed by their partners, their intimate partners. This is really, really serious issue that we need to talk about. And Mr. Fred, don't you think that some men or some people take advantage of seeing the person as a public figure? They know that if they mistreat them and they come out and say we have divorced maybe they have divorced their husbands, it will attract public condemnation. So they keep quiet and stay in the marriage.
Well, like I said earlier on, whatever that was in her mind, nobody can know it. So Yes, my point is, why didn't she communicate? You were saying that she was probably afraid by the husband's
This is Jafric
intimidation.
Radio.
Look, she's lived with this kind of intimidation for some time, I believe, because before it gets into physical abuse to that point, of course, it would proceed by regular intimidations. If you do this, I'll do that. But what we're saying is, don't let that intimidation kill you. If you know that if you should voice out, this guy is going to use all his powers to sort of cramp you down, the only thing is you make a plan, you go and you don't come, or you come with also a battalion behind you, because you've been intimidated. That when you voice out, but it's time for you to voice out. So you voice out to somebody, a third person, possibly somebody whom your guy respects or shies before, being the parent or whoever, a pastor, and you let the pastor understand that because of that intimidation that has been going on, you are having strong people behind you before you talk to the man. Let me give you one story. I was listening to a television program, and there was an interview like this, and a woman was interviewed that has her husband beating her before, and she said yes, at the early stages of the marriage, the beatings were on and on. It sounds like it would be going on for the rest of their relationship. And there's a woman who had 2 children with the man. So in herself too, she doesn't want to go to her family and lose her name or lose herself. Because definitely, I mean, with the Africans, they're going to say she probably didn't perform well. That's why she's been sacked of the marriage. So she took a decision and stood before the man one day in physical fighting. That's what she did. That's her. And believe me, she fought the man to the end. And could you believe that from the next day onwards, the man never attempted to beat her anymore? That is her case. If you ask me, I say yes, she did well. Because according to her, she was able to stop her husband from beating her, and that ended. They've been married for 24 years now, and over 13 years, she hasn't been beaten, and they are still doing well. So that's one way. If you are so weak for somebody, some people will take your weakness to be something else and perhaps take advantage of it and continue to intimidate you, beat you, or suppress you, whatever. Don't do that. It's simple. Just communicate well. Voice out to a third person. If you should talk to your spouse face to face and it doesn't work, the next thing is inviting a third person. And if you have done that and that too didn't work, that means the love era is almost gone. Make a decision and begin to slowly walk out of that relationship. Don't be killed by a relationship that is not going to help you. Thank you.
Don't be killed by a relationship that is not going to help you. Hey, we have our big brother on, Mr. Apia Cornelius. Thank you so much. Elder Ajimai is also watching. Mr. Apia also brings his opinion. He said, domestic violence in marriage. One can say it's how one is brought up in the family, the culture, and the beliefs of one's faith. One's character plays a role. And when the love for each other diminished. So if there is love in the marriage, it will be very, very difficult to abuse your spouse in that manner. Yeah, but if there is no love, it means that. And others, like sometimes things that we do, looking at how the kids of this sister, when they grow up, and if they did not get someone to side them very well, they will start beating their wives, because it's all what they see in their parents' marriage. So they think it's normal. to beat a woman when she maybe wrongs you. So I think sometimes we need the parents should also set a very good example for their children to follow, so that they will not grow up parents like bullies.
Well, what you're saying could be right, because we have some societies who thinks a way of disciplining your wife is by beating her. Yes, the writer or the viewer could be right by saying the way someone was brought up. But what we are saying right now is we're trying to find a solution and change things that hasn't helped us, that hasn't been good, and that hasn't been comfortable for us. That's what we're talking about now. So if you happen to come from a society where people think a way of disciplining your wife is by physically abusing her, then I'm telling you that it's not the right way. That's what we're saying. It's not the right way. You know, even your own child, physically abusing the child will not solve the solution. It's rather going to increase the hatred she has for you. And that's going to get worse and worse and worse. Rather, find a way. And the best way is communicating with the one. Bringing in a third person if the two of you could not find a solution. So if you are someone who happens to come from a background who thinks that way, by abusing your wife or your husband could be a way of stopping the person from his nonsensical behavior or the things that she does at home and doesn't help, the physical abuse or the physicality, look, we're not boxers trying to sort of expose your strength before the other one. No, that's not the solution. You rather increase the hatred among yourselves. So that's not the solution we're talking about. So whether you're from that background, what we're saying is, let's find a change, a solution to change that system. It's no more good. Yes, it's no more good, and it's not going to work. You see, so that's what we're saying. You can come from the background, but please let it be the end. The best way is talk to your wife. So we've been always advocating, before you get married, don't look at the physical appearance. Your compatibility is number one. Then the love that comes in, that's number two. Then the way you can communicate with one another. Are you able to voice out your feelings? See, but with the modern kind of things going on, we just look at the physical appearance. Oh, she's cute. Oh, he's handsome. Oh, he can do that. Oh, he works for this company. He does that. They're all not going to help you. You see, so what we're saying is, put the past away. We are finding new ways. And the new way, physical ability is not part of it. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Very soon we'll
This is
go on
Jafric
commercial
Radio.
break. And when we come back, we'll look at how our culture and beliefs can also make someone or that it can cause the domestic violence or physical abuse. So we will be back
In a moment.
shortly. So don't go away.
Sa sa se majin, sorry no ba, won't drink someone to call my own. Me and I make yeah. Now I found someone to sit on my throne. Oh, my friend, no him, man. That's a friend, me, or him. I don't be your, me to be honest, you. Boy, yeah, me mau be janka me yet, yeah. Enko si sepo beda santi memory. Otumba sie, me ne wale beu. When them near seni ame, you know. When them near seni ame, you know. When them near seni ame, you know. Me baby, I say, me better don't go, me better don't go. It's you, me more, me know, me baby, I say, me better don't go, me better don't go. But do you way, I don't see no, yeah. Me baby, I say, me better don't go. Say what I'm in me know, yeah. Me baby, I say, me better don't go. Otumbo sie, me double single bia.
This is Jafric Radio.
Me baby, I say, me better don't go. Say what I'm in me know, yeah. Me baby, I say, me better don't go, me better don't go. Oh, I don't you way, me don't see you, yeah. I don't you way, me don't see you, yeah. I don't you way, me don't see you, yeah. I don't you way, me don't see you.
Hey, hello, viewers. Welcome back. Welcome back to Jafric Radio Home Sweet Home program. Yes, we are discussing the topic domestic violence into bracket physical abuse in marriage. So before we went on
This is
commercial
Jafric
break,
Radio.
we had a question for Mama Naomi. So if Mommy can hear me, Mama Naomi,
Hello.
yeah, how can our culture and our beliefs brings about physical abuse in our marriages?
The way we react to issues concerning this particular topic or concerning marriage, we need to have a rethink. We have to. Because, for example, you see, even the genesis of the whole thing, when you read the Bible, it's not even everybody that is supposed to get married. Marriage is a calling. And you need a grace to be able to do that. The only grace that was given for free was salvation. Any other grace, you need to ask for it. It is given. Marriage is a calling. But our society have made it to look as if you are not married, then you are inferior or you are an outcast. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to put it. So at the age, they try to put some pressure on you. You need to get married. What are you waiting for? Can't you see your mate? And all those kind of things. And because of this pressure, people enter it anyhow. Meanwhile, marriage is not an institution that we could enter into anyhow. We need to take time. We need to put so many things in place. But because of the pressure that the society puts on people, it makes them to rush into it. And when that happens, you see, because they rushed into it, they will rush out of it. They find it so easily to get out of it at any time because they went into it at any time. And also another thing, the stigma that we try to put on people who try to come out, who try not to keep quiet, but come out of it. The stigma, for how we say, what we we say about them, how we react towards them, even sometimes in the church itself, how we relate with these people, also scare people from maybe trying to come out or trying to speak out, but they try to keep quiet and stay into it. And one advice that I will give people who are experiencing such violence in their marriages and they want to come out, I think we should not try to just think of what people will say. Let's try to communicate with the creator of the marriage. If he is on your side, I don't think anybody that is against you should be of a concern. Because most of the time we focus on the people against us than the people who are for us. We focus on those that are against us than the man himself who is for us. So one thing that I will say is, if you have tried your best, you have communicated with your father, and maybe you feel, yes, it is time, maybe I need to come out and fight for it from another angle. Don't think about what people will say. As I said, you need to love yourself first. You need to be strong first before you'll be able to pull another person out. If you are not strong, how do you pull another person out? You have to have what you want to give. If you don't have what you want to give, you can't give it out. So we should be mindful of all these things. The society, we shouldn't succumb to the pressure from it, because marriage is not a small thing. It is a calling, and we need a grace to be able to stay in it and have it wonderful.
Thank you, Mama. It's a calling indeed. Marriage is a calling. Yeah, so we need to invite our Maker who instituted the marriage and also go before him all the time when we need solutions. And some, let's say, cultures also contribute so much to this domestic violence, especially when men are heads, we agree. But there are some issues that may come up, and even the husband's mother may say, are you a woman? If your wife is misbehaving, beat her. It happens, and it seems so easy that you could say, even friends, if your woman is just misbehaving, beat the devil out of her. And if care must not be taken, they beat their wives until they kill them. Right. So in this case, what advice can one give to, or what can we do, especially the cultures that put men on top in everything? It's true, God has made them the head, no one is competing. But for a man to discipline a woman by beating her, which the culture or the society sees it's okay to do that, what can we do to address this issue for people to understand that it's not right? Mr. Fred.
Well, I think I said it a little earlier that there are cultures, not necessarily they encourage beating of your wife, but it's like they think men are always the head of the family, and in no way that a man should go wrong against the wife. So this is something that have been implanted in most of us. I mean, man, so let me say it that way. Yes. So it does not encourage the beating. Occasionally, some parents would advise their sons. I mean, like you're saying.
Yes.
Personally, I haven't heard some before, and not people around me to have been given that kind of advice before. But however, let's accept it that is there. But what we're saying is, can't things be changed? We're in 2022. We're not more in those back days that things that the man was the head of everything. Right now, everybody is evident of what's going on in the world. Not only men can economically shoulder the whole family affairs. We need the help of our women too. So in this case, the responsibility that was supposed to be 100% men in those days or those olden days, at the moment is not. The women have to come in to help out. So we need to understand that certain things has to be changed. Whether you were brought up through that family or that culture which says men should not go wrong against women at all costs, please, it's time to change that attitude. This is what we're saying. We're finding solution. It's time to change that attitude.
This is Jafric Radio.
We have to accept that they are part of us. And again, the more violent you become in the family, don't forget that you are creating hatred within yourselves. And for me, I'll be surprised to see somebody who would beat the wife or maltreated, and later on in the night time would go to her and ask for. Look, it's self-discipline. The Bible says that. Self-discipline. You see? So we need to understand that things have changed and we need to change our own culture. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And no matter what the scriptures will teach you, no matter what somebody will teach you, no matter what lectures you have, it's self-discipline. The Bible says it. The Holy Spirit will not stay inside you if you're not self-disciplined, if you don't have self-control. So it's self-control that we're talking about. We can talk about cultures that encourages this. We can talk about a lot of things, but don't let us dwell on that. There has been there. And how long are you going to live with those old things? So for me, today that we're talking about this issue, I know a lot of radio stations have talked about it. So what we're saying is, one, develop communication and put the old days, the old cultural teachings that didn't help you, put it aside and have self-control.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. Self-control is very, very important. We had a message from Elder Ajimai. Elder says spiritual influence also do matter. Not everything should be viewed from the physical perspective. It's not normal to kill your own wife, a woman you sleep with, a woman you love.
This is Jafric Radio.
You have children with. The fact that some of these things happens in the spiritual before manifesting in the physical cannot be downplayed. This is what.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he could be right.
And it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you go to Galatians, the book of Galatians, Paul said everything, that the nature of the sinful world is obvious. When you read there, but getting to the end, it says, upon all this, it's self-discipline. This is what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So if you think this is, of course, it's a bad spirit, but don't forget that you are inviting that evil spirit into your life by your own behavior. Don't forget this. You see, if you continue to put on wrong emotions at home, frown upon everything at home, have prideful attitude that you're always the master at home, you are inviting those evil spirits to come and manifest in you and ask you to continue those deplorable behavior. And at the end, you express that out with physicality. So this should be simple to everybody.
This is Jafric Radio.
So no matter the spiritual, if we talk about the spiritual things, well, we're going to talk about so many things. Nobody's eye sees that. Unless you go to a seer, someone who can see that and help you clear the solution. But what we're talking right now is things that you can see, things that you feel, and things that you hear within your family. That's what we're looking at. These are the attributes that we want to have in the society and solve their issues. Spiritually, yes, it is there. But that's what I'm saying. Don't forget that it's your own attitude. that is inviting that evil spirit into your relationship. So if you keep on with that prideful attitude, no two ways. Spirit of pridefulness will one day occupy you, and it will suggest to you all the wrong things, and you do them. Then when you finish, it would come and say, God is not with you. No.
And others tend to blame the devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your wrong attitude.
It's the devil.
Yes. So go to Galatians and see that after all, it's your own disciplined action, your head disciplined methods, your self-control that can drive away those evil spirits out of you. You can read the Bible, do whatever. Without self-control, you do nothing. Thanks.
Thanks. Yes. Today, Mr. Fred is voicing out all that is in him. Yes. We had another message from Mr. Apia Cornelius. Mr. Apia, when are you coming to the studios? He says these strategies include teaching safe and healthy relationship skills.
Yes.
Engaging influential adults. And
This is Jafric Radio.
disputing or disrupting the developmental pathway towards IPV, creating protective environment, strengthening economic support for families, and supporting survivors to increase safety and lessen harms. This is what Mr. Apia also suggests as a strategy that will help people to avoid the physical abuse. It may caused by many reasons. Even poverty can also make people beat their wife, because if you are hungry, yes, there is a saying, a hungry man is an angry man.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard that a hungry woman is it's always a hungry man.
Well, but women can do that.
Yes. So we need to also be financially sound, economic sound, so that all these things will be able to solve. All right. Thank you so very much. Don't forget that this program is brought to you.
This is Jafric Radio.
by, Bayside Modeling Agency, Zion Company Limited, and also Jackins. We have Tomrick Hotel at East Legon in Accra, Ghana. If you are outside Ghana or inside Ghana, you are doing any program that you need a very, very special place, just go to Tomrick Hotel. It's at East Legon and it's very close to the airport. So if you stay there, your access to the airport is very, very convenient. All right, so visit them at www.tomrickhotel.com and you would see a lot of their handiworks there. Thank you so very much. And I will continue with the messages again. Mr. Apia comes again that the institution should also help us to bring out good laws so that all these guys, I am not even, he said, all these guys, I'm not even guys, but ladies should be punished for the abusive. Yes, I think it's also very important if there is a law. I think in every country there is a law governing this, but people, most of them are lawbreakers, and in spite of everything that is written in the law, the punishment associated with all those things, yet people continue to do them. So I think if we strengthen the laws, it will also put fear in people not to indulge in such activities. Mr. Fred, are you with me?
Well, yes, but I don't think strengthening the laws would solve the issue. No. Of course, here we're talking about somebody who has died through domestic violence. But if you go to homes, there are a lot of issues more than the death that has just occurred. Yeah, so that's what is probably frightening people to say all sort of things just to find solution. But strengthening the social laws, I don't know how much it should do, but don't forget that some laws too can restrict us from getting married at all. What about that? Everybody will be afraid. No two ways. Whenever you marry, you're going to have fights. There is no perfect relationships. No. You see, I used to talk to my wife and say the best culture is between you and me. We might come from different background. The way I was brought up, the way you were brought up. I'm not doing it 100% Ghanaian, and I'm not asking to do it 100% Japanese. But the best culture is between you and me. It's our understanding how we will do it to suit the family and not to inconvenient the children or people who are looking at us. So it's just an advice for everybody. When the laws are strengthened, it will rather prevent a lot of us from doing so many things. You get my point?
All right. Yeah, Mr.
So I'm not sure.
Your opinion?
Yes, I'm not sure strengthening the law can solve the issue, because yes, there are so many things hidden that does not come out. But when it gets to the worst, like this death, then it comes out. So what about those that are hidden, that goes on unnoticed or unsaid? That's what we're talking about. The best solution is to communicate well. Yeah, don't let it get worse. You see, if it will be late. That's one thing. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Fred. Mama Naomi, is mommy there?
Please, can you hear me?
All right. Thank you, Mama. Mommy, do you think that strengthening the law can also help diminish the violence in domestic violence in our marriages?
Yes, I think yes, it could also help. To help. But one thing that Uncle Jeji said that I liked so much is, it is we the two that has come together. We can also make our own culture.
That's right.
Okay? Because no two persons are the same. No. Everybody is unique on his or her own. So as we have the world culture, okay, and even we have the Bible culture, because he said we shouldn't conform to the world, but we should be transformed by the renewing of our mind. If we have the world culture and we have the Bible culture, I think the two of us who have also come together, coming from different backgrounds, different families, different ideas, coming together as one, we can also form our own culture and try to understand each other. There is nobody that ever married his or her enemy. So why then that the thing would so much escalate to a point that you wouldn't want to see your intimate partner with your eyes? And as Elder Jiman rightly said, we shouldn't also be ignorant of the vices of the evil one. They are also there. That's why Uncle Jeji is making us to understand that we have to be up and doing and discipline ourselves so that we will not give the enemy a footstool in our marriage. So all these things, if we are able to put it in order, I think we can move ahead successfully as far as marriage is concerned. The laws can be put in place, but it is we, the two of us. Let us try to understand each other. And together, let us plan on ways and means how we could make our marriages work and be successful, that others will look at it and also wish to enter into such a covenant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you. I think we've left with few minutes to go. Another message from Elder Ajiman again says advanced nations often embrace equality between men
This is Jafric Radio.
than developing nations too. Men feel superior in African cultures. If culture plays a role in domestic violence, which I believe it does, how come domestic violence goes on in the advanced nations than in Africa? It's a question.
Well, I'm not sure that analysis is correct. Domestic violence goes on in advanced countries more than even in Africa.
Yes, and that's what he's saying. That if culture, we are talking about African culture being men superior over women.
Yeah.
Yes. And he said if culture plays a role in domestic violence, which he also believed that, how come domestic violence goes on in advanced nations than in Africa?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that means that's why we're saying that the cultural issue is there. The advanced nations, because of rules and regulations, there have been a lot of reformations within the people themselves. Like I said earlier on, that what was supposed to be a man's 100% responsibility in those days, when you are in the advanced countries, it's no more like that. It's almost 50-50 or 70-30. A woman has to shoulder part of the responsibilities of the man. That is economically. So in this case, it's up to you, the man, to understand her. The way you feel, she feels the same thing too. But she always has something peculiar that is just with her only. And that is the spirit of bringing a family up. Men don't have that. So in the advanced countries, I think, yes, they have developed so many things and there are a lot of changes going on. But here in Africa, I think development is still slow. So it hasn't got into the villages for people to reform their mind and their way of thinking. You see, so people still think that they have their pride that man is always the family head and man is always above the woman in the family. I think this is the slow process that is going on in Africa. That's why you see that in Africa, this kind of things are kind of rampant. You hear it there, but still, the advanced countries too, a lot of women make the men the heads of the family. Yes, they subdue to their men. Yeah, but maybe in our case, we're doing it too much in Africa. That's what I can see. Yeah, it's too much. It's overdone. But in everything, we want the woman to do that for us. See, but that shouldn't be the case anymore. That's what we're advising. It shouldn't be the case anymore. Let the past be past, and let's all reform our mind. Have self-discipline. You see, understand one another. You see, like I said, it's between you and your wife, and that's the best culture you can have in the world. You see, if you don't understand yourselves, no matter what somebody would say, you know, you still are not going to reform your mind. So we need to have changes. We need to change by trying to place the importance of both of us first before anything.
Thank you so much. Mama Naomi, can you also react to this? If culture plays role in domestic violence, why then in advanced countries they have such cases more than in Africa?
Okay, thank you so much. So now you see what I was saying from the beginning. Causes of domestic violence. So I will ask, who is the Lord of your marriage? So you see that the culture could not help, the law could not help. The culture is there, yes, the law. Because the previous question you asked about whether the law should be enforced. The law too is there, but it is not helping matters. So the whole thing comes back to who is the Lord of your marriage. Every school has a principal, or have the CEO, or every company. They know how things should run in the company, how things should run in the school or whatsoever. Marriage also has a head, somebody who instituted it. So when you refuse to make that person the head of your marriage, you are in for trouble. So in my case, I would say that since we have refused to recognize the head of the family, who is being God, that is what we are seeing now. So if we can come back to our senses and make the Lord or the institutor of marriage the head of the marriage, then we are in for peace. So that's the only thing I could say about this situation.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's almost time, and I'll give Mr. Jeche 1 minute to wrap up. And then when Mr. Jeche finish, Mama Naomi, it will be your turn. So, Mr. Fred.
Well, I think
your final words to your audience.
Well, I think we've said a lot, and there's not, and there won't be a single stone to kill the bed, or whatever they say. Yes, we can have a solution for everybody, but what we're saying is discipline your mind, reform yourself. Most of the times, causes of domestic violence today, we didn't look into details, but there are a lot. If we have to look into the causes, that is when we can find the problems. Most men will go into marriage just thinking of one thing, the sexual aspect. You see, so when they get into it and they get enough, or they have enough, then they have double-minded, whether to leave it or continue. They get confused, so they put on emotions that will not help. This could be a cause of it. Today we didn't look at that, but I'm sure someday we'll come and look into the causes of all this violence. So what I'm saying is, yes, if we are finding solution, then the first thing is reform your mind. Don't dwell on the past. Maybe your mother or your father, your culture, whoever you are, maybe you were told men are always superior or the head of the family. Well, it's no more like that. The one in the Bible, that God says, I'll give you your helper. So if somebody is coming to help you and you turn the person into slave, what do you think would happen? You see, he's one day going to revolt against you, because for your slave, you're going to maltreat your slave. And when the revolt comes out, that is when the physical abuse will begin. So if your wife is your helper, find a way to lead her so she can help you in a way that will please our Lord. So what I'm saying is, let's reform our mind and discipline ourselves, and we can have.
This is Jafric Radio.
Thank you.
Let's reform our minds and discipline ourselves. Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. Mama Naomi. Hello. Hello, Mommy, are you there? Okay, sorry, I think we lost Mama Naomi. Yes, viewers, thank you so very much. Mommy is on. Okay. Hello, Mama Naomi.
Hi.
Oh, all right. Okay, your final words to your audience.
All right. Thank you so much, Dickness Poma, our cherished listeners and viewers. To thank you for always tuning in to listen to the little that you have to say that will help our marriages to grow. And the little thing that I want to say is, I will say it again. Let us make the Lord Jesus Christ the head of the family. And to our husbands, please, you are the head. When it comes to the family, God being at the top, then after that, you are the leader of the family. Please try to protect your wife. Try to love your wife unconditionally. And do everything that you can to protect the marriage. You are there to protect. You are there to provide. You are there to serve. You are there to.
This is Jafric Radio.
Because at first, when Adam saw Eve, he said, "This is the flesh of my flesh and the bone of my bone." See your wife as the flesh of your flesh and the bone of your bone. So any act of violence you cause against her, you are hurting your own self. And also to the wives, please, let's also love our husbands and let us respect them. We need to respect them. If we are able to do that, then I think we'll go a long way. We are there to help them. Wives, we are there to help our husbands. We are not there to compete with them. And the husbands too, see us as people who will help you, who will support you, but don't see us as your contract that you come and release your stress, you come and release your provocation, you come and release your anger on. We are just part of you. We were taken out of you. So please protect us and take care of us, so that together we'll build a very happy home, that our children that are looking at us, they will also grow and be productive in the society. Thank you very much for always joining us. And I know
this is Jafric Radio.
Go a long way to help your home as well as ours too. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much for your wonderful submission, Mama. God richly bless you all for coming. I just want to thank my panelist once again, Mr. Fred. Thank you so much, Mama Naomi. Thank you so much for your wonderful submissions. And our viewers who send their messages, thank you so much for those brilliant messages that you sent to us. We just want to end here, and I'm reminding you that please, you can contact Jafric Radio if you are doing outdooring, weddings, church events, and funerals. We can advertise for you and announce for you very, very well. So please don't hesitate to call Jafric Radio if you have such events. And we are also on all the social media handles. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and also Twitter. You can also join us so that anytime we come on live, you will also
this is Jafric Radio.
Join us also. And you know, some time ago we were just announcing to you that there is a song, a beautiful one, on our way. My DJ is here. Are you not there?
Wow.
Oh, really? Right. The title of the song is From Zero to Hero. I wanted to play a little for you to hear, but I think my DJ is not ready yet. So now this song is at all the digital platforms. The audio is out. So you can download from the Amazon, the Spotify. You can go to DistroKid. The song is there. So we have it here. Just listen a bit. And yes, it's 3 songs. Just type the artist name, Abena Poma Fuku, and you will get the songs. It's The Throne. One, the title. This is it. This is from zero to hero. You see the intro?
I was living in zero, but now I am a hero. Praise be to my God, He has changed my destiny. I was living in zero, but now I'm a hero. Praise be to my God.
If you want to be a hero,
He has changed my destiny. He has restored my fortune.
in your marriage,
Praise be to my God. He has changed my destiny. He has changed my destiny. He has restored my fortune. Praise be to my God. He has changed my destiny.
Okay, so this is one of them. Yeah. So it's moving from zero to hero. This is just I need to please go to Amazon, go to it's all like Google Play is there, Apple stores, yes, it's everywhere, all the digital platforms.
This is Jafric Radio.
Play the song, enjoy the song, and I tell you, you'll be blessed. God will move you from zero to hero. We have the throne and we have our wait on God. At the appropriate time, we'll also play it here for you. So thank you so much, Mr. Producer. From zero to hero. From zero to hero. Yes, God will move you from zero to hero in your marriage, in every
This is Jafric Radio.
of your life. It's a prophetic song. So please grab one for yourself. Go to Amazon. It's not expensive. Yes, yeah, you get what you can pay. All right. Okay. Thank you so very much. So I think our next program to be African Today. Yes, and it will come on I think 6, 7. Yes. 6 to 7, 18 to 19 o'clock. Yes, so meet Mr. William Esiedu. They will give you a lot that African needs to look at. All right. Okay. Thank you. And then from there we move to Pentecost Hour by our national head, Pastor Osei Yao Eni. Yes, Pastor Enin is the national head of the Church of Pentecost in Japan here. So that it will also start from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., which is 19:30, 20:30. All right, thank you. And also, we have
a time with the word. Some nimre. Jumedi nipa odi huchiame. Eye deki na yaw Japan. Na ye namne sumane de asam prayer no. Eye Elder Francis Kweku Kosa. Onyame eyusunu eweyem remo. Edejene ma everyone how ninim putremu. Jumedi ebasu every Saturday and Sunday 9 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Japan time, and 12 o'clock p.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Ghana time. A time with the word Asam Nimre.
Asam Nimre.
This is Jafric Radio.
Thank you so much. A time with the word. Time with the word. All right. So, viewers, we just want to thank you once again for being there for us all the time. if you are there and you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel and other social media handles, please do subscribe. And also when you subscribe, share to others so that they can also be part. Once again, I want to thank my panelists for being there for us all the time, the person of Mr. Jeche and Mama Naomi Zotto. Mama, thank you so very much. I want to thank my producer and at the same time executive producer and at the same time the DJ. Yes, DJ.
This is Jafric Radio.
Producer Nana Yao Pop. You can call him P.O.P. Hey, Pop.
This is Jafric Radio.
And my name is Abna Poma Poku Foku. Oh, I have said all, right? Yes. You can call me Dickness Poma if you like. Until we meet again next week, we say sayonara.
Hi guys, you are watching Jafric Radio. I am Abba from Ethiopia. Jafric Radio ni የተመለከታችሁ ነው ይመቻችሁ አበበ ነኝ ከኢትዮጵያ
Ekaro, Ekason, Ekale. Orúkọ tèmi ni Ọmọdọ́lá Oyèyẹmí, ọmọ bíbí ìlú Ìbàdàn. Jafric Radio lẹ́ ń wò yìí o, ẹ múra sí i, ṣe púpọ̀.
My name is Mari Nihe from the Philippines. You are watching Jafric Radio.